In our politics lead, former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney of Wyoming delivering a devastating portrait of the Republican Party and former President Donald Trump. It's part of her new memoir due out next week. It's called Oath and Honor. CNN exclusively obtained a copy of the book, and CNN special correspondent Jamie Gangel is here with all the juicy details. And Jamie, you tell me that Liz Cheney does not hold back.
She does not. She names names. She has emails, text messages. I think the book is extraordinary because it goes behind the scenes. And for the first time, you're hearing details about her Republican colleagues, about the Republican Party, and really their cowardice is the word she uses in their support of Donald Trump. And here's just from one excerpt of the book. She says, Donald Trump cannot succeed alone. He depends upon enablers and collaborators. Every American should understand what his enablers in Congress and in the leadership of the Republican Party were willing to do to help Trump seize power in the months after he lost the 2020 presidential election, and what he continues to do to this day. Jake, look, the book is unflinching. You get personal conversations, Republican meetings. There is a revelation about she was on January 4th, by accident, a White House, a Trump surrogates call that she describes where she hears just the stark specific planning for January 6th.
And she goes, you tell me, particularly after then House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, and she says, he said he told her that Trump knew he lost the 2020 election, and he knew early on.
Right. This is 2 days after the election. Cheney writes that McCarthy told her that he had just spoken to Trump, and that McCarthy says, quote, he knows it's over. He just needs to go through all the stages of grief. Cheney then writes that it's her wry sense of humor that the stages of grief also apparently included tweeting in all cap letters. But Jake, there's also another sort of stunning anecdote about Kevin McCarthy. We all remember the photograph when just 3 weeks after January 6th, there it is, Kevin McCarthy goes running down to Mar-a-Lago. He's afraid he can't raise money anymore.
And just I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is a lifeline. Everyone thought that the Republican Party was going to rid itself of Donald Trump. Everybody had spoken negatively about him. But then McCarthy does this, and it basically, he's like Phoenix from the ashes. Donald Trump is renewed.
Correct. And nobody knows this trip is happening. And Cheney writes, actually, when she saw that photo, she thought it was a fake.
Really?
And then she confronts Kevin McCarthy about it, and she writes, get ready, Cheney, Mar-a-Lago? What the hell, Kevin? Kevin McCarthy. They're really worried. Trump's not eating, so they asked me to come see him. Cheney, what? You went to Mar-a-Lago because Trump's not eating? McCarthy, yeah, he's really depressed. She also reveals that, look, she was not the only one. She talks about other Republicans were, quote, angry and disgusted that McCarthy had gone running back to Trump. And there's a text that's going around, and she writes that her Republican colleagues, quote, some mocked him, circulating that Trump-McCarthy photo along with, get ready, the clip from the movie Jerry Maguire, where Tom Cruise tells Renee Zellweger, you complete me.
Huh. And there are a lot of other headlines in the book that we're learning about for the first time, including about the new House Speaker, Mike Johnson from Louisiana. Tell me about that.
So to be clear, when Cheney was writing this book, she did not know that Mike Johnson was going to be the next Speaker of the House.
Right, he was in leadership, but nobody thought he was going to be the Speaker anytime soon.
Most people didn't know who he was in the public. But what she writes is now critical because she lays out specifically just the important role he was playing behind the scenes in enabling Trump. He was pressuring members, specifically freshman members, to support Trump in all of this. There are also details about her relationship with former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, two people who could not be further apart politically, about how Pelosi appointed her to the January 6th committee, what it was like. Cheney writes she felt like she was from another planet, but she also says that Pelosi always backed her up. The backstory of the two of them, and also that she was immediately impressed with Pelosi's leadership throughout. One story here about a Republican colleague that I think goes to the names. There's an extraordinary scene on January 6th that she recounts where Republican members are sort of being asked to sign these sheets for electoral vote objections. And she writes about Congressman Mark Green of Tennessee.
Yeah.
And he's signing, and she hears him, and quote, as he moved down the line, signing his name to the pieces of paper, Green said sheepishly to no one in particular, the things we do for the orange Jesus.
He called him the orange Jesus?
Yes.
Not exactly a compliment.
No.
Cheney has said for a long time that she believes Donald Trump is dangerous. She sacrificed her political career, at least in the short term, to warn the country about him. What else is she willing to do about it?
So as she told you in that great interview did a couple of weeks ago, she has not ruled out running for the White House herself. She has also said that if Trump is the Republican nominee, she is out of the Republican Party. She says in the book that she will do whatever it takes to make sure that Trump never goes back to the White House. She thinks he is absolutely a danger to democracy. One quote from her conclusion, she writes, quote, every one of us, Republican, Democrat, Independent, must work and vote together to ensure that Donald Trump and those who have appeased, enabled, and collaborated with him are defeated.
That's a lot of people.
She thinks this has to be nonpartisan, that the checks and balances of our system will not hold if there is a second Trump term.
Fascinating stuff. We need to talk more about this, Jamie. Stick around.